Well, I ain't tough enough to quit either, buddy. So, hey, good morning, people, and welcome to a early watch Monday. That's actually Thursday. Sorry, guys, life happens. Uh, we're here,
Whoa.
and thank you to G Webs for hosting. I can't thank him enough.
Hey, no worries. Glad I could be here. And yeah, I've been getting up late too, so it worked out pretty good. I was working on a project and so late, and you got up early, and we're here. So you got the grandkids. How is that visit been?
Well, actually, the granddaughter left to go to her dad's Monday at 3 o'clock, and the grandson, the daughter arranged for him to go to somebody else's house during the day.
Oh, okay. So you're just helping them in the evenings to have a place to sleep and whatnot.
Yeah, we basically do supper here and put the kid to bed, and the other one's with her dad. So I don't know how long that's going to be. She may be with him for a couple weeks.
Right on. Well, it sounds like
So
your uh, vehicle going again.
yes, yeah, that was easy.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell was going on in my head. I didn't think of that before I walked a fucking mile home. Ain't the first time I've had a problem with that pass lock system.
Oh, it's from the key. I've heard of such like that where the key has to be like the chip has to be within a certain distance or something.
Yes, uh, but after some years, they tend to get corrosion on the plugs and whatnot, and they don't send the appropriate signal to the computer that it's actually there, and vehicles start up and immediately die. And that's all it does. I went down there. Actually, I had a guy I used to work with go with me. He's going to pull it back to the house, and I wiggled the damn wire on the thing. And somebody started right up. So that was an easy fix. Didn't cost me no money.
Did you end up going shooting? You said the granddaughter was all happy that the truck was working.
No, it was stormy all damn day.
No, that's how it usually is.
Yep. Yeah, I was wanting to go because they had a long range match there for these buffalo guns. But yeah, well, that's life. So I'll try to catch the next one in October, which is unlikely because that's squirrel season. I'll be gone.
So there's a squirrel season. Is there like a limit, or is it a pretty big limit?
Uh, you can shoot 5 a day, have 10 in your possession.
Oh, okay. So that means at home you could have 20 for you and your wife.
Right, exactly. And I
Oh,
do get a hunting license every year just because of that.
and that's more than I'm assuming anybody could ever eat. Really, squirrel ain't that good.
I ain't ever come close to the limit of getting them anyway.
Oh, okay.
I think the most I've ever got at one time is three.
Well, that's kind of like hunting. And you got grandkids. So yesterday, Clover's chat. He's been doing a series on his Wednesday show, which is the youth shooting show, and he's been doing these brackets, and it's a series of brackets. One was, I think, pistol. I didn't listen to all of them. One of them was pistol. One of them was target rifle. Last one might have been shotgun. Anyway, this one was hunting rifle for a kid, and I forget. He had 8 guns in there. I forget what all of them were, but it was bolt. There was a selection with a bolt, a selection with a lever, and then a selection with like a handy, one barrel break open. One was an AR, and then one of them was those Taurus judges that they make into rifles.
Yeah.
The judge. So I'm curious, without getting into the specifics of which brand, and then they were some calibers which were specific. So, like the bolt action was such and such caliber, like I don't know, 243 or something, or one of them was 7mm '06. So for me, I just don't like those calibers. So I was, because of the mix, I voted with the caliber influence also. But anyway, just as far as actions, do you have any preference on not just taking a kid shooting, but specifically hunting? I never really thought about it. I start jumping right to caliber, I guess. So when Clover had this one and he was talking about actions and stuff, it made me think, is there better or worse actions for a kid hunting?
Well, I bought all my kids bolt action single shots. I would be fine with break action single shot also, but these are just shooting. Uh, because I want them to learn economy of shot before anything else.
Yeah, I understand that. And like the concept that since it's going to take you a while and you know it, and since you only have X amount of shots and you know it, get good, right?
Right, yeah, learn to hit what you aim at, because you're not going to be able to reload it and take another shot. It ain't happening.
I mean, we definitely see that at the range. I don't think I ever have taken a kid hunting, so I don't know that experience. But I've definitely seen kids go to the range, and it's definitely detrimental. I mean, it's got to be the worst thing you could do is give a kid a 10-22 and a box of ammo when they haven't learned any of the fundamentals yet, because all they do is immediately start not learning anything really fast and really love it because it's awesome, and it starts ingraining bad habits as far as skill, right? But
Yeah.
it's got to be similar with hunting, I guess, because you just start having them pop into a tree at a squirrel. That's not good.
Well, it's working out pretty well for the two grandsons that have been shooting for a little while. They're both really good. Uh, I mean, they're not sub MOA good, but they're shooting, 2-inch group at 25 yards, which to me is pretty good for a kid.
Yeah.
They seem to catch on to the peep sight mechanism on this cricket, and I got to say the little guns have been good.
All right. Well, I mean, I got nothing against crickets. I own a couple of them. But I just have two. I know I have owned more than that. But they're kind of crude. The triggers are not good. People definitely complain about the triggers. And then the whole idea of having to cock it the way you have to cock it, like Matt, I think it's Matt or Clover or both have an issue with having to do that. I personally don't care one way or the other because I've shot Winchesters that have that same action where you have to pull that cocking thing back. Goes along to what you're saying. It gets you involved in a bit of a process so that you're, I guess, appreciating each shot, right? You have to go through a little bit of work to get that thing ready to even shoot.
Yep.
And then, so anyway, I guess my thing about the crickets is I don't mind them at all. And I think they're great for the range, but for hunting, that's almost a handicap. Like, that's not a great gun. If you really want to be, have the kid harvest, I mean, that's kind of a shitty gun. I mean, as far as like trying to hit a squirrel and keep the sights, because the sights are just on there with one Phillips screw or bolt, I guess, and hits a tree or a fence or something and it's off, then putting it sighted in again.
I'd have to take damn thing apart, see how it's on here.
But I guess I'm not shitting on them. I like to say I own a couple of them and they're small. That's what I like. And I guess one aspect that I don't have any experience with either is how fast a kid's going to get fatigued. I shouldn't say that. We've taken kids bird hunting before, and that's the thing, is they tire out in like a second. So I can imagine having to carry a rail gun for any length of time, especially in the field when they're not catching something and they're just under the burden of carrying a gun. They're going to start hating that gun, right? With a little cricket, well, you can't get any lighter, basically.
Probably not. I mean, like I said, I grabbed these things because they were cheap and they were reliable. They have been thus far. I've had one myself for several years.
Oh yeah, I've never. Well, I guess they can get broke. plastic, I suppose. They're not made out of freaking ultra materials or anything, but they're not the kind of gun you throw around either, so they're not going to get broke.
Well, I'm afeared that the plastic little cocking handle that you pull on is where it's going to break.
Oh, yours is plastic?
Yes.
For some reason, I think mine's metal, but I'd have to go double check, I guess. Maybe I am thinking of the old Winchesters that were like that. Okay, so well, the other question I was going to ask is my answer was the lever. I think a lever is a good hunting gun, mainly because you got options. You could shoot squirrel or rabbit, deer, I don't know, pig or whatever. So where a bolt is, you kind of have to go after something that's standing there. I guess you could get good and go after a squirrel or a rabbit, but that's a little tougher with a bolt.
That's what I normally hunt with is bolt action.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that obviously it's not impossible, and most times squirrels ain't hauling ass. I guess I'm just thinking walking through the brush and ruggedability of it, and then you mean you got to have more than one shot necessarily. You're not taking multiple shots at each squirrel, but just so you can carry extra rounds in it. They're in it. You don't have to carry them in your pocket or whatever.
I can actuate the bolt action on my Marlin probably nearly as fast as a lever.
Yeah. With a
The kid gun's a different deal. You know, I don't want them to have multiple rounds in the gun. I want them to know that this is what you got. So be sure you hit what you're aiming at.
Oh no, yeah, I know. For the follow-up part, I'm just saying because they're gonna take more than one shot when you go hunting. And instead of having the bullets in their pocket, they'd have them in the gun, in the tube. Anyway, so yeah, that was Clover's. I think the Remington Ruger American in 300 Blackout won.
Well, see, that's another thing that we don't get the option of. Is really there's not much hunting in Illinois with a centerfire rifle.
It's either shotgun or archery or black powder.
Or 22 rimfire. Or rimfire, I should say.
You can hunt like deer though with that?
No. No. But you can hunt about everything else with it. No birds either.
Just 300 Blackout. You mean you're not shooting anything little with 300 Blackout. And that's one of the reasons I was against it, because that's a 30 cal bullet and it might suppress great, so you're not going to hear it when you shoot something small, but when you shoot something small with it, you certainly won't find it afterwards.
No, I don't think the 300 Blackout is a really viable hunting cartridge myself.
I mean, if you're going deer and up, or like pig and deer, yeah, great, go for it. If you live in Texas and you're range controlling deer and you want your kids to be able to help, yeah, I guess grab a 300 Blackout. I still don't think I would go bolt. I guess that has a bolt with a magazine.
The thing here is you can't hunt with centerfire rifles, so you have to have a pistol. And you start dropping the barrel length of 300 Blackout down, and you're getting no freaking performance then.
You can't shoot with a pistol, but then have it be like I mean, it's literally a pistol, not just a pistol caliber. So you couldn't shoot like one of them 357 lever guns.
No, absolutely not. It's got
Okay.
to be a handgun.
But then at the same time, you could get a 30-06 Contender. 08 Contender, maybe a little easier to deal with.
I don't think so. I think it has to be straight wall.
Oh, okay. So potentially you can go through some kind of, you don't know how to write definitions loophole and get something a bit larger, but it's still going to be a pistol.
Yes. And now I talked to a guy at the range earlier this year who's taking an AR pistol and 300 Blackout deer hunting. And he said what he had to do is he had to get a magazine dummy because you cannot shoot semi-auto. You can shoot single shot or you can shoot revolver.
Ah, okay.
Welcome to Illinois.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, a pistol with what, probably 11.5-inch barrel and a brace, it'd work.
That's what he had. Although I don't know the barrel. It was
Maybe a
very short.
12-inch barrel, whatever the, what do you call it, the right length for that.
That was his game plan. Uh,
Oh, I'm going
and
to take a second to just remind the people who might not be aware of it. I've got my screen locked onto the uh, Early Watch channel over on Gun Channels right now. And because of Europe, we're dealing with this upgrade. And the chat here, you'll need to refresh. But if you open up the chat down here, there's a chat room down here. And it'll be, you can have 3 down here, but it'll be whichever room you're in. And that one you don't need to refresh. So if someone types things, if someone were to type something now, even though there's some lag, they might not hear me for a second. But if I talk long enough, see, Tony types something there, thanks. It happens automatically. Where up here, I'd have to hit refresh, and all the stuff that's happened since my last message there shows up. So it's a little frustrating. Like I say, they're working with the old code and new code, but for now, it is working down here. And I just wanted to give the heads up, thanks to the people that are watching over on Gun Channels, which is better than shitty-ass YouTube, which sucks. It sucks butts, from what I hear.
Thank you for that. I discovered that yesterday that it was working down in the corner, but not in the main yet.
And actually, hopefully people will pass that around, because it's always awesome to like spend all kinds of time working on stuff and then go find a chat and everybody's like, Gun Channels is broken. Ah. So appreciate the people that I am blaming the EU, because they made this stupid thing that says your dad, like, you are special. And that means everything that you've ever written is special. And if you ever written anything on the internet, it's special. And no one should be able to take that from you. So they said, anytime you've written anything that has anything that could be identified as you, just from what I understand, then it's the other person's job to be able to give you everything you've ever written that could be attributed to you. And they should be able to give it to you with one click, and it shouldn't be cost anything, and it should be free, and blah, blah, blah. So that's, can you imagine what that's doing to places? Now, we're not in the EU, and we don't have many members from the EU, so ours is affected less than some, but the places that we deal with are international, and yeah, we're just getting last in line. So I'm sure that this whole update at all was because of that stupid compliance stuff, and now all the trouble tickets are going through, and ours is mixed in with all the others, and yeah, that's what we're dealing with, is a bunch of EU havoc because Obama gave away the freaking internet a few years ago.
Okay. I think we do have, is not Jay Blux?
Yeah, below, and of course Emmett, but then they're telling me Emmett isn't in EU, but then Mika, and then we had somebody from Bulgaria, and I can't remember the name now. Remember the guy from Bulgaria that would jump in once in a while?
No.
Pretty interesting, because Bulgaria's a little bit different, and for some reason I want to say we had somebody else from Europe, maybe just a couple of times. And then, of course, weirdo about the 50 AE in the face. So,
Yeah.
we're going to miss that guy when we block Europe.
They ain't seen him around in a long time.
Well, that's because we pretty much block most of the continents that he's ever contacted us from.
Simple. You shoot yourself in the head, pretty much any gun, you ain't gonna walk away.
That was definitely an odd, I don't know what he was trying to prove or figure out, or I don't know what he was trying to do. It was weird. Way too much effort to just be weird, right? I think he was off somehow.
Yeah, that was surprising to me as well,
He was just trying to be funny, or like thought it was somehow proving a point. It was way beyond that. So we're talking about something that I wonder how many people. So show of hands out there. We're watching on the stupid YouTube side and on the gun channel side, which works. Wondering how many people know what we're talking about, referring to this guy. I forget how even long ago that was. Is it 3 years ago? Seems like a long.
No, it happened while we was doing the show, so it's only been he's been in here.
I think that might have been when he came back once, because he came for a while, and it took us a while to figure out. Me and Night Strike and some other guys were like trying to figure out how to block this guy because he kept coming in from all over the world. He was definitely putting some effort into getting around our efforts to keep him out, and just to answer that stupid question over and over to everybody for the first time, like they'd never asked it before. Weird.
I know Jimmy took offense at the dude. It really pissed Jimmy off. Speaking of, I've heard nothing from Jimmy, so I don't know what's going on there at this point.
I don't know. I think I talked to Jimmy, and while we don't know an ETA when he's going to come back, he's efforting towards that, and it should happen. So hopefully any day now. I will be here and Jimmy will, and they'll be back on the Early Watch channel on the YouTube.
Well, I look forward to it. Not that I want to point anything towards you, G-Webs, because I really do appreciate what you're doing. But this show is really about Jimmy, so.
Yep. And the Early Watch Nation. So one of the efforts that you guys kind of sparked, I guess, and then fostered was this Early Watch Nation, where everybody in the different states are paying attention to their areas or the things that they're interested in, at least, and then they would filter or funnel that information to you guys as hosts of the show, as well as your Early Watch Nation website. And while that's still in the midst of being created, they have an email they can contact you with now.
Yes, that would be earlywatchil@gmail.com. And I respond to every email I get. Even if it's just a thanks or a fuck you, I respond. Roosted, to answer your question, the dude asked if you could survive a headshot from a 50 AE. And he just asked it over and fucking over again.
From like some specific distance, like 10 feet or 5 feet or something. And it didn't correlate with any kind of news event that I'm aware of or any kind of like video game thing or anything. It was just a weird question. I didn't get anybody saying they recognize it, so we might have been talking way earlier than most of the audience is familiar with. But I think we described it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was just fucking annoying.
A weird thing that'll happen, I guess, when a bunch of people can communicate around the whole world. But so the Early Watch, have you gotten any emails? Anything interesting coming in? I know that Deerfield, we haven't talked about Deerfield.
That's the only thing about Deerfield that I know of is that they did get the injunction to stop it from taking effect until it goes through the court system.
Yep. We talked about it on somebody's show, and I looked it up because I know that Second Amendment Foundation is taking credit for it, but there's multiple. So I guess there's two people that fought it and took it to the injunction or whatever. So there's two separate cases that they have to, I guess, whatever it would be called when you put an injunction against crazy ass infringement like that. I guess there's two things that they have to deal with, like, to get it to actually go through. And one of them was the Second Amendment Foundation, and the other one was Gun Saves Lives, I want to say, and they say that was backed by the NRA. And that's two different people, though, that, you know, had offense at such a crazy ass, whatever you'd call that, law, I guess.
Well, I suppose that one of them is going after it on this violation of the Second Amendment, but one of them is going after it. The first one is going after it due to it violating our preemption law.
Right, because you have an FOID and you have a CCW. Where the hell do they get off telling you now can't own a gun? As a city, not even like a city of 18,000 people.
Right, and they're trying to sneak around it by saying it's an amendment to a law before the preemption law. But it's a completely different uh, set of circumstance. You know, they're saying you can't own it now instead of it has to be safely stored.
All right, it's getting super hot, so I'm going to be stepping away for a minute. I'm going to go close everything up and turn off all these fans because it's now blowing hot air.
Woohoo! It's supposed to get really fucking hot here this weekend. As far as emails, I haven't got any more in the past couple of days with news items, although I have got a lot more emails asking about reloading than I ever expected to get. I always figured that our audience would be bored by it, which is why I don't really bring it up unless somebody asks me a specific question. But I think at some point today I'm going to do a little discussion on reloading, some do's and don'ts, stuff like that. I don't know, to see how the time goes. As far as news goes, I haven't seen anything newsworthy beyond the injunction at Deerfield a few days ago that, hell, it's been a week now. There was nothing that caught my interest thus far. So, I got nothing. But I will take a quick look if there's anything on NSN that strikes me as conversation worthy. No, I ain't interested in any of that shit. By God, you're right. Today is Flag Day. And my Grandpa Deweese's birthday. Although he died 30 years ago. Well, happy Flag Day, everybody. Go out and kick somebody's ass who spits on the flag. "20 signs you're definitely a narcissist"? Nope. I already know I am. Nope. Nothing even remotely interesting in the news.
It is Flag Day.
Yeah, that's what
I had the hiccups there.
DTG said.
But I had the hiccups. I was trying to also say, but, and maybe more importantly, it's the Army's birthday. So hoorah. We're older than everybody, so deal with it.
Hey, the Army is the thing we don't want here. We oppose a standing army. Now, I'm just kidding. To all you guys out there that have served and are serving, thank you very much. I tried to, but I couldn't get in because I had a bad heart. Which actually at the time wasn't really all that bad. It just, the doctors didn't fucking know what they were looking at.
They put him through all the tests or whatever, and they show him a bunch of pictures of puppies and stuff, and based on his reaction, they're like, nope, you got too much heart. Not a killer.
Fuck, they don't know me very well.
Oh, Thanos, ruthless.
Tony has no heart? Wow, that's not true.
You heard him.
Just look at my fucking insurance statements from the past couple of years. Shit, I got all kinds of lovely shit in my heart. Titanium bits and whatnot.
Ohio said 243rd birthday of our Army, 1775. And Patrick's asking about the Predator movie. So the other night was the 30th anniversary of Predator movie came out. And so we watched it over on GunTube that night. I don't broadcast them anymore. So we watch them on GunTube together. Up to 12 people can be in the room and we'll talk shit and pause it or maybe jump over to like deleted scenes or compare it to something. We'll just have fun playing with the movie. And then sometimes we'll watch something after or whatever. But anyway, we just do them sort of in an off-air hangout, you could say. It's just on the hangout function over on GunTube. And then that way they don't, well, number one, they don't take up any of the server space because Night Strike's paying for that computer, right, just to exist. And then he's paying for the bandwidth, the how much people are putting on there and requesting from there. So you pay for a server, you're paying for a building or an office, but you're also paying for that doorway, how big the doorway is and how many people are going through it. That costs money to your server company, and that's the fee that you pay. So us using the stream and everything is taking a bit of an advantage anyway. I'm only giving them $1 a month on Patreon, and when we render or when we record that thing and go live and then render it into a video, we're taking server's time, you know, which is just electricity, but it's server time. If he's got people watching videos and stuff, it's taking effort from his machine away to do that. And then it renders as a video. And honestly, I don't know how many people are even watching, but it's essentially a liability. It isn't, you know, is it a broadcast video? Are we doing commentary? I guess is the way to get away from all that. We just don't render it. So a little bit lame, I guess, because we're that first time when we did Red Dawn, and I guess the second time, that more people were able to be involved in the audience, I guess. But it's really just so that we're not screwing with Night Strike too bad, and I'm not leaving something behind that could, I don't know, be annoying for him. And I don't know, we'll keep playing with it. I'm really hoping that other people, I mean, I'm not the only one that can do it. Anybody can run a movie over there, and hoping that it becomes a thing that people start watching movies and maybe digging into some old TV shows and stuff. And remember that Night Strike's doing all that on his dime right now, literally $35 or something over on Patreon. I'll grab the link and throw it in there. But anyway, so I just wanted to address that. We don't render them.
Yeah, if you can help the man out, he's trying to do a lot with nothing.
I was watching the huge tube, right? They're pretty good people. I've been contacting them, and where am I going to find my that gun tube, huge tube, Gun Exchange? They're on a big road trip right now, so you know they're funded by a organization that has income. The other one, I can only assume, has some sort of funding behind it. You know, Night Strike has us, 16 of us, dropping $34 a month. Come on. 1 hour of his time, honestly, is worth that $34. 1 hour. All right, I'm throwing that in there. But maybe you'll share that around to let people know, hey, this guy's doing a good thing. Help him out.
Well, I figured it was worth that much for me to have to listen to him for an hour.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that, but the Early Watch Nation knows Night Strike intimately. How many months doing it for months? A couple of months he was doing the show for you guys.
Yeah, him and Connery
it's
back
live
and forth
now.
doing it.
It's live. It's live now. I always liked it. All right, so I was going to talk about heat. So you saw a bit of the project I'm working on. Tony jumped when we were off air, and I'm going to leave the screen share so you can see what people are saying. I've been working on this project, and I'm about to get to the point where I have to do all that art, right? There's going to be a shit ton of art to do. So I was looking at the temperatures here in Tucson, 107 degrees plus. And then there's a lake about 40 minutes from here, $40 worth of gas from here is what I should say. And the temperatures down there are like in the 80s. So I'm seriously trying to figure out how to take that computer art I have to go do and just go do that sitting next to a lake instead of sitting here in 100 and whatever. So I don't know, we were talking about earlier. Oh,
I don't know how people live out there when it's that hot and ever step out fucking side.
it's not like super fun or whatever. You get used to it, I guess. I had to go to the place yesterday, right in the middle of the day, to get um, for the get my glasses. What do you call that? Prescription. And that wasn't fun. I don't like to do things right in the middle of the day. So it's a little weird because yeah, you get out of the house and then you're into a car and it's got AC, hopefully, and then you go wherever you're going and you got to go from the place into the wherever it is with AC. So it's for me at least it's weird because I'm not live in AC. So I go from hot to super hot for a while to super cold for a long time, and then kind of cold, and then well, super hot's in between. So you don't stay outside. Now, if you're going outside to dig a hole or doing like what Russ is doing, driving around all day long, you just get kind of used to it, and the dryness definitely helps. But you just drinking water and you just get kind of acclimated to it.
But we're supposed to get up in the upper 90s for the next few days. And it will not be dry here.
Yeah, the humidity is a killer. When it gets a little bit rainy here, get a taste of what you guys get.
Okay, let me see.
Then I was talking about a $40 swamp cooler. I don't know if he means like a DIY type of situation, um, but swamp coolers like an indoor type of thing that you might put in like your garage or underneath like a pop-up tent shade type of thing, like a freestanding thing that you just keep putting water into, are usually more like 100-ish.
I do not know crap about those things except for, basic design of.
It just blows like a big SOS pad made out of um, natural material, some kind of moss or some kind of shit. It's all dried out. You have a pump that puts water over that so it stays like a wet sponge. And then there's a big fan and it just blows air through that big wet sponge. So it puts a big wet sponge in front of your fan. And then basically as the air, right, hits that cool water, it loses heat. So you heat up water basically. And then it puts a little bit of water into the air and that makes it comfortable, a little bit more comfortable. It feels cooler. So a swamp cooler basically can drop inside temperature 10, 20 degrees, which could be very comfortable and not. But then it can do nothing when it's super hot. Like we were talking about the other day, if it goes from 110 to 98, not really all that much comfortable
I
inside. And
suppose it requires a dry climate because there's got to be a reason why nobody uses something like that here. That's.
it would work.
I'll guarantee you, most people here have no idea what the hell you talked about. They think you made up some drink or something.
Oh no, it won't work because you have to lose heat to something. You'd have to first, I guess, chill the water or something. So dumb. You could do something where you dropped saline into the ground so that it went to earth temperature 70 something, pulled it up into your 90 or 100 and blew air past that. That's not really a cooler. That's right.
Shit, I don't know. I just have air conditioners in the windows.
Yep. And that's something a lot of people do out here too. Just move to one room, AC that room with a little air conditioner unit, and I'm told those are about the same as running a desktop PC, same amount of power.
Oh hell, I don't know about that.
I guess it depends on your PCs. They're saying today is Trump's birthday. Is that true?
Really? I don't know. I didn't see any announcement in the news, but they hate him anyway, so they're not going to say happy birthday to Trump.
That's a real good point. There might be an article about how he's the oldest president who's never been in worse health or something. I'm down saying caves are 58. So yeah, if you can get something that pulls 58 degrees in.
Yeah, that's kind of part of the appeal of people using geothermal here, because you can cycle cold water through the thing just the same as hot or warm. It's cycling water coming out of the ground at 50 whatever the hell degrees it is through the thing all the time. But I ain't digging a big hole like that in my yard when what I got works.
I'm saying Trump is 72 today, born in 1946. That doesn't seem like the oldest president. Wasn't Reagan way older than that?
Not when he took office.
Well, he'll certainly be older in 8 years, right? He'll be,
Yep.
and he gets out then. All right, well, there was something else I was about to ask you. I don't remember if I go over here.
I have a trivia question for the audience to chime in on. Who was the first woman to appear on the cover of Field and Stream?
How about a hint, like a year?
She. It was in the 70s. Sometimes I don't know the year exactly.
Okay.
But she's been on TV a lot lately.
Oh shit! Is this a trick question? Is it Bruce Jenner?
No.
Hillary?
God in heaven, no. Actually, it's not even Shockley. It's actually Queen Elizabeth.
Really?
Yep.
Field and Stream. So what? With some kind of crazy shotguns that the crown owns or something?
No, she's big into bird dogs. Or gun dogs, they call them.
The shot.
I don't know how much dog running she does these days, but she was really big into it 30 years ago.
Does that mean fox and hounds type of shit?
I believe these were more like duck dogs, bird dogs.
So go out, shoot them in a lake, and they go
They
swim
were
back.
retrievers, yes. I do not need more Alex Jones and David, whoever the fuck in my life. And good morning, no. I stumbled across that shit. Looking back through old freaking Field and Stream articles, and then they just popped it up this month on as a flashback. And I thought, I'll be goddamned. I had no idea that Queen Elizabeth had anything to do with anything remotely concerning outdoor activity, let alone running dogs. But let me get the link and I'll post it. People can read it if they'd like to.
Sounds like something Rick might have something to say about.
He might have knew the answer.
Yeah, he might have known all about it and just not ever brought it up. Dang it, what the heck? I was just about to say something, and then you brought that up, and it got me all sidetracked thinking about the Queen on there.
Sorry.
And no worries. So one of the things we like to do on the show, maybe I'll get a start here, is to go look at what's going on over on the main page of Gun Channels. So I don't know how many people out there who are watching live aren't aware. I'm guessing y'all are familiar with Gun Channels. But for anybody that might be watching this in the future or catches this and wonders what early watch is all about, this is a show that Jimmy, who's not here right now, and Tony, who's right there, have been doing for a couple of years now. Or every morning they get together and chat about the Second Amendment topics of the day, guns, and things that the Early Watch Nation group of people we just talked about will send them articles of interest or what. So you guys all met up on gun channels, and they post the show over here, so run it on YouTube and host it over here. And that's what we're looking at, is gun channels. It's a community, 5 years, going on 5 years now. And this main page here has kind of the melting pot of everything, I guess. When you log into gun channels as a paid or free member, which can be either one, you're going to come to this page. And the first thing you're going to see is the schedule of live shows. Quite a few of the members over here do live stuff like we're doing right now. And this is a quick schedule and links to those. All the times are in Eastern, by the way. Then as you scroll down, you get a news feed. And you see things that people thought were interesting, or maybe something that they posted on their channel called Gun Channels, because the main organizational way here is you're a member and you do whatever you want. One of the things you can do is create a channel. So if you post something on a channel, it'll show up on this main page. If you create an event somewhere, it'll show up here. So you watch this main page and get an idea of all kinds of things that are happening around gun channels. And that's what we're scrolling through. So we got the, was it 243rd anniversary birthday of the Army. I don't know who all's Army out there, but feel free to say hey if you want. No, Dano is. And we got the show that we posted a link to. We posted on the main page so people know about it. Also, so if somebody comes in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they got quick access to it and they can come listen to it. This is the channel, what it looks like. This is the video that's happening right now. I didn't bother to play it because we're in it. And then here's the chat room that's happening underneath. Somebody could come along at 3 p.m. or 7 p.m. tonight, or right before we start the show tomorrow, and watch the whole show. That's what it's all about. So then that's why we posted on the main page. This was one of those off airs we were talking about. I forgot what the hell we were watching in there last night. Oh, I think that was just the end of Smeggy's Cave, actually.
Hey, I'm going to step out for a second.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just going through here. Travis has a post about this Black Rifle Coffee Company. Forgot Tony's, I think he's a coffee drinker. I'm curious to see what he thinks about this one and what everybody else thinks about this one. I keep hearing about this guy. Definitely doing a campaign, a marketing campaign at the moment. Keep hearing him on podcasts and stuff, talking about his story. And I don't know. I always just thought he was a goofy guy. And I don't know. People like his stuff. Then there's this one. I did not watch this, so I'm going to click it right now. 3 minutes long. Oh, it's a music video. Does my heart skip a beat? Like country to me. Too many rusty cars on it to not be country. Then we got Daily Gun Show, or it was the cave he posted after the show. Maggie was in the Daily Gun Show yesterday and had a cave after. Looks like Tina posted a picture of her holster, I'm guessing. I don't know what this one is. I didn't look at it yet. This will save lives. Life for Colorado.
This will stop anyone in their tracks.
What's this?
Trust be safely stored in a brick like this can of pepper spray. Pepper spray doesn't cost much, and it can be safely stored in a break glass in case of emergency cabinet. Stop talking past each other and try self-defense.
So that's
but it's
pepper spray in his face? Holy crap. That's pepper spray? Yes. Holy crap.
It's incredibly painful. And now I just can't see anything.
Oh, you just put soap in your eyes.
Wow. That's intense. For less than $1 per person.
Did he do any research on what to do when you get pepper spray in your eye?
Pepper spray in every classroom in America.
Oh my God, he's just putting a hose in his eye.
It's like lava in your eyes.
Oh my God.
I can barely see anything. I just see.
Oh my God, he just stuck his eyes in
It needs leaders
detergent over and over.
making our schools safe again.
Oh my goodness. I thought that was glue or something. Wow. So, did
Sorry,
you
I
watch
missed
that,
that.
Tony? Did you watch that?
No, I just come back in here.
Holy crap. I'm going to turn the volume down because there's no need to listen to it. So this is some guy running for something. I guess he's a Democrat. And he's like, I'm fed up or whatever. So this is what we need to do. You can put pepper spray in a case of emergency glass thing. And then I guess this will save lives. And then he squirts the shit out of himself with that stuff. Look at this. Sprays himself for like a half an hour. Turns out this is dangerous. Look at that. And then he repeatedly puts his head into soapy water. I never put my eyes into soapy water before, but that can't be pleasant for your eyes, can it? And look how soapy that water is. And then he's about to hold his eye open and blow water into his eye from that hose. I don't know what they're squirting at him there. Look at this. I can't imagine. Oh. And I'm almost positive you can buy stuff from the pepper spray place that spray it yourself when you're testing, right? To help neutralize it faster.
Did you happen to notice the misinformation, that little bit of text at the bottom there?
So I've had enough of Democrats and Republicans talking past each other on gun control. As kids, schools, and communities pay the price in blood. That's why he sprayed himself in the face.
No, he sprayed himself in his face because he's stupid.
Yeah, he was not thinking. And he didn't even watch a YouTube video because I'm pretty sure there's other methods besides sticking your face into soap. Ugh, crazy. Pretty sure they make soap specifically so that, because of when that happens, it's so painful. Right? They make baby soap that doesn't burn so that because soap burns so bad in your eyes. I don't know. I haven't had soap in my eyes in a long time. Try really hard not to. Okay, so here's worth talking about. Ohio. This dude from Ohio, right? Met him. Actually, we went shooting with him, didn't we?
Yep, I think so.
So, son of a bitch buys 200 rounds of 6.5 Creedmoor ammo off of the Brownells website. And then they send it to him, but they send him 140 grain or whatever instead of 147 grain or vice versa, whatever. He gets the wrong grain by 7 grains. He contacts them and they say, keep what we got. We've already got the new stuff in the mail. This son of a bitch gets 200 free rounds of ammo. You like that? There you go.
I did know a tad bit of envy there.
That's pretty neat. So I'm glad he posted that because a lot of times you hear like, I had to wait for 2 weeks to get my shipment, or I ordered it and then, blah, blah, blah. So this is cool if somebody's actually posting a positive thing. And that's kind of neat that Brownells would do that. I mean, I guess they don't really have to. I guess it's a pain in the ass with their, what do you call it? Hazard shipping to get it back.
Yeah, they probably just as cheap to sending the new ammo as to pay for the shipping of the old back.
Have you ever had this happen? You get something wrong from a place. This used to happen with computers more often than anything else, I think. We get something wrong from a place, especially from like overseas too, because they don't want to have to ship it back and all that time involved. And they'd say, we'll pay you, ship it to the person we were supposed to send it to, and they're shipping it to you kind of thing. Have you ever had that happen?
Nope. I've had them say that I could keep the wrong item if I wanted to. That was Amazon.
We've had it with stuff where, and it's the same kind of, maybe for something like this, it's a commodity. When we were talking maybe things built for us or like a specific component we needed for a job, we couldn't just take whatever. So we were happy to do it because it meant that the other guy was doing the same for us. We were getting the stuff we needed. And this was yours, so it wasn't like we had Amazon. But anyway, I'm wondering if they could have said something like that, like, hey, do you mind holding that for a minute? And we're going to send an address that you can send it to, to fulfill another order or something, I guess. But no,
I suppose that the postage cost of a private citizen sending that is exorbitant. I mean, they have a package deal because they do so much shipping.
Oh, that's a real good point. Yeah, like they get their big bulk discount or whatever. Interesting. Yeah. And that's, I guess they just have it factored into the prices or whatever. When you're moving that much stuff, it's going to happen X amount of time. I'm sure the computers go work overtime, making sure they keep track of every single time that happens so that they can project it better. Gary's girlfriends. We were looking at this picture, but what's wrong with this picture?
Aside from its picture of chickens and sweaters, I don't know.
Well, from in my neck of the woods, this is a boy chicken. So I don't want to gender assume nothing. And I don't know what's going on with these chickens, but them look like a bunch of roosters wearing dresses.
Well, in today's America.
I don't know what's going on between Ellis and Gary, but they're having fun, so that's good. Another Knives lobby. I mention it every once in a while. We have the Knives stickers, because Knives hosts these shows all the time. We've got the stickers over here on his page. You can buy one of them off the Gear website store. It makes a little noise if you buy it while we're in the show. I keep forgetting to talk about that. But if you buy that, as soon as I see the order come through, I PayPal $20 to Knives. So he hasn't made a ton of money, but it's nice when people give him a little something to help him out for hosting probably 16 or more hours worth of lobbies every day. We had Clover's show again. We talked about that. The youth rifles. I didn't listen to Rick's show. I was out doing my eye thing. But
I logged into Rick's show yesterday, and just before it went on air, or just after it went on air, my dinner was done, so I left.
Oh.
Sorry, they were going to talk about the Deerfield thing, and I didn't want to.
I hear that. This is a sentiment from Roosted. To Americans, the flag does not mean a love for its government, but a love for an idea of freedom, an idea so dear that an army made of farmers, builders, teachers, plain citizens died for it. But that's kind of neat. And he did it for Flag Day, so it's kind of, not just throwing it out there on Flag Day, but that's kind of cool. I don't know, I guess it's been a couple of days since we've done this, so I don't want to keep going back too far. We did that hangout the other night. We watched Predator, like I mentioned. It was the anniversary, and that turned into a bunch of watching other stuff. We were watching some deleted scenes and things, and then we were talking about what else we could watch in an interactive format like that. And when you have a bunch of gun nerds in a format where we can all share watching a video together, of course, we started watching the debate over the Hughes Amendment back in 1986, and that chaos that happened in the House of Representatives. That would have been comical if it was a comedy movie, but it was our rights that they were fucking with, and it's difficult to watch. So after we watched that for a little bit and talked about it, one of the suggested videos was a video by Neil Knox, which is one of the guys responsible for the Cincinnati Revolt back in 1977 that changed the structure of the NRA and started the ILA. And he's an interesting guy, one of the gun rights advocates. And he did an interesting video in 1989 when there had been some concern and a push to ban the assault rifles, right? And he did a video, videotape, so it's a little crude. And I bet you a lot of people have seen it, actually, because it's been around for a long, long time, way before the internet. And he shoots an AK-47 and explains the cartridge at a watermelon sitting on a stool in the fields, probably in Arizona or someplace. And then he shoots the same target, a watermelon, with, I forget, a 308 and a 30-06, some hunting rifles. And he shows how the AK looks so dangerous as a gun, but it's a cartridge that's designed to wound a 100-pound man, where then he shows, whatever hunting cartridge in a non-scary looking bolt gun. And he explains that that's a cartridge designed to kill an 800 to 1,000-pound mammal. So it's much different, and when you see it, the watermelon kind of explodes when you shoot it, or breaks up when you shoot it with an AK-47 round. But when you shoot it with anything higher than an intermediate cartridge, it just destroys the watermelon. It vaporizes the watermelon. But it's a pretty good illustration for people who are concerned that the AK-47 is so dangerous when, in fact, when you compare it to like a 9mm, which he shoots, and a shotgun and these rifles, it's really right at the same. I mean, it's about comparable to a pistol compared to the effect that those rifles had on it. Anyway, really cool video, and that's on the website of his son, Chris Knox, and that's what I posted here. And I think with that, I'll quit going through the main list because we could keep going, I think, because we haven't done a show in a couple of days. But anybody that's interested, whenever you're kind of bored or looking for something gun-related to dig into, that's what the main page is all about. It's a very eclectic mix that's all kind of centered on the Second Amendment, or at least the Gun Channel's community. Clay's making fun of Ohio. Typical. Russ I was asking about the coffee thing before you left, Tony. Black Rifle, you're a coffee drinker? Correct? After what? Am I still connected? I don't know if Tony left or if I left. Give me some feedback and then we'll know. For feedback, otherwise I guess I'll refresh over here. I'm muted. Am I back? All right, maybe Tony walked away. Not getting any feedback, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, there's no Tony. All right, so I think you're saying about that coffee guy is weird, so yeah. And that's what my spin on it was. I didn't know what that guy was doing. All right, well, I lost Tony, so I don't know what else we were going to do. I don't know how long we've been live. It's been maybe an hour-ish. See if Knives is live yet. It's kind of early for Knives. And we want to, so let's text him like 100 times. All right, well, so I don't know what happened with Tony there. Let's see if anybody else wants to do something live today. Otherwise, we already kind of mentioned the shows. We've got a bunch of shows happening today over on the Gun Channels, which will be C4. He doesn't have a link here, so I don't know if he's got a channel set up or what. Then we got Shooting Left to Center. Me and Matt will be on Yankee Show tonight. That's every other week. Clover has his show tonight, and it's not on the list here, but Jesmla, I think, has his Spec Ops on tonight too. So we missed that one in the schedule, I think. Back now? Yeah, Spec Ops right there. I gotta put it in my list better. So I still don't hear you, Tony. I don't know if you're there.
I ain't said nothing.
Ah, there we go.
Trying to make sure I'm back.
Refresh, see if Night Strike's bringing in a bunch more money. Hey, he's not. I don't know. I think I might be wrapped up here. Tony, do we have anything else?
I do not, really. At some point, I'm going to start a thing on reloading, but I really need to put some notes together.
I know. So imagine if people have questions, specific questions, or maybe topics that they'd like you to talk about first, or with some kind of priority, then emailing you that same email address would work.
Yes. earlywatchil at gmail.com. Until I've used a Hotmail account a lot longer.
All right. Well, with that, we already talked about what's going on tonight. Check those shows out. Thanks again to Knives for hosting the lobbies. Thanks to Tony and Jimmy for doing the. Oh, I'm not even screen share. To Tony and Jimmy for doing the early watch, and let you have it.
And thank you for hosting for us in Jimmy's absence. It's really appreciated.
We're done.
I'm done.
Okay. Oh, I got a commercial I have to wait for here.
About throw out there the good day, everybody, before the tune starts. So
Just like we planned it.